Hello, third graders, and welcome to this week's Math Meets Literacy. I am Mrs. Crawley, a teacher at Barack Obama, and I will be joining you to share an awesome math story. And this week's story is great. You'll really enjoy it. What will you be able to do after this lesson? You will be able to solve single-step practical problems involving multiplication of whole numbers, where one factor is 99 or less, and the second factor is 5 or less. And that's something I know you can do. But let's review. Let's just warm up our brains. What's multiplication? And when we think about multiplication, we think about the number of equal sized groups and the number of items in each group. So we really love that word equal when we're talking about multiplication. Now, today, you will be required to write a few multiplication equations. So I wanted to put a review for you, just in case you forgot. So here we see we have it horizontally, and it also can be written vertically. So there are different ways to do it, and it's totally up to you what you do today. Now, the materials you will need today is today's lesson handout. If you do not have the lesson handout, that's totally okay, and you can use a blank piece of paper. And you can find the handout on the RPS Week 7, Day 3 lesson page. So this is where you can find that handout. Right? And along with your handout or your blank piece of paper, you will also need something to write with. And you're going to need a love of math. So let's go. Today's story is 365 penguins. Now, if we think about that, that is a lot of penguins. A lot of penguins. And the family in the story become kind of overwhelmed with 365 penguins. So here we have the front cover of the book. And when I look at the illustration and I think of the title, do they match? And it does. Now, I've not counted the penguins on the cover, but I do see a lot of penguins. So yes, I think the illustration on the front cover matches the title of this book. What do you think? Now, we also see a family, and 3 members of the family seemed very overwhelmed with the 365 penguins. But the little boy in the corner actually seems to be smiling. Maybe he's enjoying having 365 penguins. I would love to know what you would do with 365 penguins. And our focus today is, how do you multiply a 2-digit number by a 1-digit number? This is where you will pause the video and explain your answer using words, drawings, or other examples. So when you come back, we will begin our story. Welcome back.
Penguins by Jean Luc Fermental and Joelle Jolivet. On New Year's Day at 9 o'clock in the morning, a delivery man rang our doorbell. I opened the box. A penguin! Who sent us such a strange gift? We looked for the sender's name all around the box. Nothing. Look, said my sister Amy. I'm number 1. Feed me when I'm hungry. Strange, said my father. The next morning, ding dong, penguin number 2. On the box, there was still no name, no address, nothing. Only a note slightly different this time. I'm number 2, and like number 1, I need you to take care of me. The day after, ding dong, penguin number 3, anonymous like the others. This time the note said, there's always a 3 after a 2. Please take care that I don't catch the flu. This is getting weirder and weirder. And it went on like that until the end of the week. On Sunday, we had 7 penguins in our house. On Monday morning, during breakfast, we had a big discussion about naming the penguins. Alfred, Dopey, Moose. No need to argue, Mommy said. I don't think. Ding dong! We're going to keep them. At the end of January, there were 31 penguins in the house. No more, no less. February has only 28 days. Each morning, another penguin arrived. That made 31 plus 28, 59 penguins. And a number 60 on the next day. But there was a problem. What should we do with all these penguins? Give them away, Mommy suggested. Daddy had a better idea. We should organize them.
All right, so right now the family has 60 penguins. So let's help them solve their problem. Dad wants to organize 60 penguins into 4 equal groups. He creates 4 equal groups of 15 penguins. Now, does this plan work to organize the 60 penguins? Here, you're going to pause the video and explain why or why not. Again, you can use drawings, you can write about your explanation, or use any other example that you want to. Once you're done, come back and we will continue our story. Okay, so I want to know how you solve the problem, and I'm going to show you what I did for this problem. I'm going to read number 1. Dad wants to organize 60 penguins into 4 equal groups. He creates 4 equal groups of 15 penguins. Draw 15 penguins on each iceberg. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 icebergs, and I need to draw 15 penguins on each iceberg. So I drew 15 penguins in each group. So let's see, so how many penguins do I have in all? Well, I know I have 60, so I want to make sure. So I can count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. And if I come down here, I see that the multiplication equation says 4 times 15 equals 60. 4 equal groups of 15 equals 60. Does this plan work to organize the 60 penguins? Explain why or why not. Well, yes, the plan does work to organize the penguins. And here you can see in my sketch, I have 4 equal groups, and I put 15 penguins in each group, and I have my 60 penguins. So my penguins have been divided equally between 4 icebergs. So yes, this plan works well.
4 times 15 equals 60, Daddy said. You only have to know how to count. Ding dong! +1. On April the 10th exactly, penguin number 100 arrived. I'm number 100, and 100 to 1, you'll take care of me 100%. This weird sense of humor reminds me of someone, Mommy said. After the first 3-digit number, our problems really began. Here were some of them. Number 1, feeding the penguins. Each penguin ate 2.5 pounds of fish per day. 2.5 pounds times 100 penguins, 250 pounds. A pound cost $3. $750 per day? No, 2.5 pounds times 101. Number 2, taking care of the penguins. We didn't have to clean them, but... Me first, I'm late. Ugh, I hate penguins. Penguins everywhere. Black and white and in my hair. 2 or 3 would be quite nice, but hundreds more, let's think twice. Bathroom, bedroom, closet, kitchen. I've had enough. It's time to ditch 'em. Amy is right. It's time to make a serious decision. Number 3, housing the penguins. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Ted, get the hammer and the saw. Basically, penguins are like eggs. And how do you arrange eggs? In boxes of dozen.
All right, so they're having some penguin problems. They have to feed the penguins, they have to house the penguins. So let's help the family solve their housing problem. Now, I heard Dad say a word. He said dozen, and I know a dozen represents 12. So let's solve it. Dad made 12 boxes that can house 12 penguins each. If Dad puts 5 penguins in each box, what is the total number of penguins that will live in the boxes? So here, you're going to stop. You're going to pause the video, and on your handout or on your own piece of paper, you are going to solve this problem. Remember to write the multiplication equation that matches the word problem. Once you've done that, come back and we will continue 365 penguins. All right, so let's see. Now, I wonder, what did you do to solve this problem? So when I solved this problem, I put 5 penguins in each box. Then I went back and I counted by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So there are 60 penguins housed in the boxes. Then I wrote 12 boxes with 5 penguins in each box, means there are 60 penguins living in the boxes. 12 times 5 equals 60. We're multiplying a 2-digit number by a 1-digit number. And there are many ways to solve this problem. That was just one way to do it. You may have found a different solution, and that's awesome. Let's get back to 365 penguins. I wonder who's sending the family these penguins. It has to be someone who knows them, and also someone with a strange sense of humor.
Exactly. 12 boxes times 12 penguins equals 144. We'll even have room for leftover. The days went by and penguins piled up. On May 24th, we had 144 penguins. The next day, our problem started all over again. It says here his name is Chili. When summer arrived, there were new complications. A, the heat. Penguins are not used to warm climates. When the temperature rises, they become restless. B, the noise. 180 restless penguins sound like a playground at recess. C, let's not talk about the other problems. We can't stand the smell. Find a solution. So Daddy paced around in a circle. Penguins, meet your match. Mommy jumped into action. Amy went crazy. Ugh! Penguin stew! On the 4th of August, a gleam of hope. Daddy found a new way of sorting the penguins. A cube. 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216 penguins. Unfortunately, this was a short-term solution. Here's another note. 217 is here, and the end isn't near. This silly sense of humor reminds me of someone. Once you've reached the point of no return, 1 penguin more or 1 penguin less each day doesn't make much difference anymore. You live penguin. You think penguin. You dream penguin, you become penguin. Before we could say quack, it was the end of the year. On December 31st, 365 guests in dinner jackets were in the house, but we had New Year's Eve on the lawn. Ding dong! 364, 365. You're all here, my dears. Even you, my little chilly, with your blue feet. Who is it? It's your Uncle Victor, the ecologist.
Then Uncle Victor explained to us, as you know, the planet is heating up. The ice caps are melting year after year. These lovely birds of the South Pole see their territory get smaller and smaller. To increase their chances of survival, I decided to introduce them to the North Pole. But unfortunately, you can't export endangered species. So I found an expensive but secret way, sending one penguin a day to your family during 1 year. One day a male, the other day a female. 182 couples equals 364 penguins, plus this little chili, who's so cute with his little blue feet. That's 365 penguins. Your old Uncle Victor is not so crazy. But he still has a terrible sense of humor. So Uncle Victor is a little crazy, but he's very smart. Uncle Victor knows there are 365 days in 1 year. So he sent the family one penguin every day of the year. So that equals 365 penguins. Oh, so that's why they named it 365 penguins. There are 365 days in 1 year, and Uncle Victor sent one penguin for every day of the year. Now I knew there was something special about that number, 365. Then Uncle Victor left with all his penguins except one. We'll take care of you, Chili. And life started to return to normal. But the next day, the delivery man came to the door. Ding dong. Uh-oh. Oh, this is a bigger box. I wonder what's inside and what has crazy Uncle Victor sent the family. A polar bear. So now the family has to take care of a polar bear. And I wonder if Uncle Victor is going to send one polar bear for every day of the year. Would you want to take care of 365 polar bears? I wouldn't. I really hope you enjoyed that story. This is one of my favorite math stories. I love it. How do you multiply a 2-digit number by a 1-digit number? Now, after listening to the story and solving 3 multiplication problems, I want to know, did your answer stay the same, or do you think you're going to have to revise your answer? So, this is where you're going to share your thinking with us on Flipgrid. Now, you did a lot of work today, and I know your brains are just churning and moving with multiplication. So I want to extend your thinking. I want to challenge you a little bit. Uncle Victor, the ecologist, has vans to transport his penguins to the airport. Exactly 1 driver and 14 penguins can ride in each van at the same time. How many penguins, and it's bolded in all capital letters, can ride in 4 vans? Don't forget to write an equation for the word problem. And you're going to share your thinking on Flipgrid with this problem as well. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. I'm so excited. So here you can use the QR code here and pull up our 3rd grade Flipgrid, or you can go to RPS at Home, week 7, day 3 lesson page and pull up the link there for the Flipgrid. I've enjoyed our time together. This has been awesome, and I will see everyone next week. Bye.